Hello, everybody. I'm on. There's some cat warfare going on out in the garden. We've had incursions by an extremely cheeky, very confident feral cat who's been coming and bullying my young fella and really upsetting him. So from where I'm sitting, keep an eye on things. I've got quite a good overview here. I don't know if I showed you this, but we've also had some cubs come to visit, and again, I was able to. They just made my day. They were just darling. They were the cuteness. So that's all the wildlife taken care of. This is just a little sort of roundup of like what my arty endeavours have been. So first out of the trap, purchases. The Sennelier oil pastels continue to, oh, my daughter will hate, slay. The cringe. They just go from strength to strength. So I bought a few more. I can't find my swatch book, but I'll just put them up. Try and find it and put the pictures in here. Oh my goodness me. I wasn't a fan of oil pastels, and I'd never sort of found a way to use them in a way that satisfied. So creamy, so messy, frustrating. But when you take the brakes off and just let them do their job, bliss. So I've started doing little oil studies and not sort of constraining myself with that thought of I have to get a. So the copies of, so this is Sargent, a woman in her pashmina. If you don't recognise them, don't feel bad. I'm not telling you or saying or even beginning to try and insinuate I'm catching anything like, but just having fun with them. That's a Soroya, portrait of a woman sat in her garden. Not all of them have worked. Please be assured I'm flicking over the disasters. And this one is, right, so we were at the Walthamstow Gallery. This is a colour study of a section of Frank Brangwyn. I think I'm pronouncing that right. I'll put his name up here. He's an English artist who started out as an apprentice at William Morris workshops, engraving or carving wood blocks. So when you come out, step into the top part of the house, this greets you. This is a small part of it. I'll put a picture of the main painting here. And the oil pastels have helped capture the texture and the dappledness and the texture and the movement in the swan's wings. Well, I think so. Well, that's what I was going for, and I'm really happy. So satisfactory. So that's the Sennelier. I bought some phthalo blue, ivory black from Liquitex. I'm finding out which brands I prefer. Liquitex, heavy body, all day, every day. I'm gradually, Winsor & Newton, the Winsor & Newton will always deliver. They're grand, but I much prefer these. And the reason I got the phthalo blue, which is not a blue that I naturally tend towards, because brings me smoothly along to this next bit. This is a book I got a while ago, and you see it's been a bit well loved. It's this general colour mixing. Oh, hang on, 1,500 colour mixings for oil, acrylic, and watercolour by William F. Powell. I got this ages ago, and what I use it for is when I feel stuck, when I feel like I'm looking at a colour somewhere and I don't have the recipe in my head, or I can't find how it's meant to work. This, even if I don't use exactly what they're prescribing, I'll go, yeah, oh God, yeah, now I understand. Right. In recent years, I've always felt black was too deadening. It was too heavy. So I tended towards more purples, like purple burnt umber to sort of make your own, or purple burnt umber ultramarine to make a black that didn't swallow all the light. I'm saying that's sort of my estimation of it. It just swallows things, deadens everything around it. Didn't like it. But I'm looking for a kind of a shadowy mossy green for the background of a floral thing I'm doing. And everything was too up there, you know, the pitch was too high. Had a look in here, burnt umber and phthalo blue. Bang. I've added a touch of ochre just to get kind of bring. Anyway, this, if you're stuck, you could do way worse. Saves time. Now, he's got this method in here of like recipes of like, you'll add 2 phthalo greens to 1 of white. I ignore that as a rule. So I'll just mix it till I find where it's sitting for me on my little, with my little doobry here. Book of the week. Again, this is based on the visit to Walthamstow to the William Morris Gallery. Please watch that video. It was just such a wonderful day out. Burns-Jones, The Last Pre-Raphaelite. I'll put a picture up here. Couldn't tell you who it's by. All the information will be up here. I'm loving it. It's so inspirational. It's so, you know what, like that thing about someone's artistic life, and that nothing is A to B, A to Z, with nothing in between. All the struggles, the frustrations, the growth, the inspiration, the fact that you have to really nurture that by looking at other people's work, by absorbing, you know, everything from churches to frescoes to furniture to just ideas and design, and the creativity of others is so important. And it, wherever you can find, you know, the beauty in something, it's always to see with your eye and to train your eye and to see things differently is so important and can't be emphasized enough. Even if, like, so I was watching, don't know if I said this before, I was watching The White Lotus this last season, and suddenly I don't know whether it's I was looking for it or it's because it was so intentional. I just saw the palette that they were using to create this pulls together visual story. So what I kept seeing was ultramarine blue and burnt sienna in various tones and sort of like with other complementary colours around it, and the red in the opening sequence with the gold, and it was so burnished and it was so luxurious, and it was very, again, satisfactory, I suppose, because it was all big plan. It was a big plan, and you just read it. It was like reading another story. I mean, that's me now on one. The other thing that I've been using is a life drawing resource. I'm going to put the name of it up here. I think it's called Lifeline. It's fabulous. It's free. So I've been doing little 5-minute poses. I'm not ready for the 2 minutes because that's Olympic level. I'm not there yet. But I can see that practice feeding into my 100 heads challenge. I'm getting a bit faster. I'm getting more confident with putting those lines down. I don't know how confident I would feel showing it to anybody, but it is, again, it's purely for my own edification to see where things are going, how I'm progressing. Word of the week, progressing. So it's wonderful, and you don't know what's coming up, so you might get somebody doing a weird expression. I think, oh, actually, listen, I'm going to give it a crack, hit or miss. But it's all laying down muscle memory, techniques, learning those, doing it over and over and over again until you're not even thinking about it. You're just able to draw. You know what? How do you get to be a court artist? That fascinates me, you know. The quality of some of them are just mind-blowing. But some, you know, be looking at them going, you know, I see where you're going. Maybe a bit off more than you could chew in some of them. Anybody know how you become a court artist? How fascinating, how interesting just to see the drama of those faces and the expression, and to catch a likeness or catch a moment. I suppose you know what I'm talking about. There's a particularly high profile case going on in the United States now at the moment, and I love seeing the court artists' drawings, the renditions. They're almost becoming their own thing alongside everything. So if there's any court artists, listen, leave a comment, talk to us, let us know. So podcast of the week, I'm sure everybody's probably found it. It's art history. I'm listening to it on Spotify. My neighbours are having a really loud conversation, but that's the speed they live at. So that podcast is wonderful. I listened to a discussion about John Singer Sargent's Madame X portrait. It's fascinating. It's absolutely fascinating. Quite sad at the end, really. And again, it's a surprising insight into how far things have changed. And you know, how a piece of work exists in the time and space. You make or break an artist. You know, it was actually a masterclass in how to brass it out. You know, how to stand your guns, stand behind your work. And look, it's more than stood the test of time. And about his technique, his process, his approach to, you know, his work. And I can definitely see his brushwork and everything inspiring the Impressionists that came after him. Had to have done, because he perfected that use of expressive strokes and the sheer amount of work that he did. So yeah, I think that's everything. Anything, if I have any footnotes, I'll add them on later on. But it's been The Dollar Princesses by Sargent, I think, is at Kenwood House. I don't know if it's still running, but that's down the road for me. I'm toying with the idea of going. I'd love to see it. Really, it's more accessible than National Gallery or the Tate. Well, maybe I'll give it a go. Let me know if anybody's seen it. Sorry if you can hear that. It's a bit bangy around here. Anyway, that's everything for now. Like, subscribe, leave a comment. Court artists, if you're out there, I'd love to hear from you. So take care, stay creative, and come back and see me again soon. Bye for now.